Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here today. I'm really excited to be joined with Dr. Jeb Hurley and Elena from TrustMetryx. And I was introduced to Jeb a couple of months ago, and he did a learning speaker series on building trust with remote teams. And during the Manager Challenge program, building trust was like a really big theme throughout the whole program. And Dr. Hurley and Elena have developed this really cool software on how to measure trust within your teams. And I think I'm really excited that you all have volunteered to participate in the pilot. I think for this call, what we'll do is, the team will introduce themselves, TrustMetryx, do a quick overview of what to expect, and go through the onboarding program, as well as just an AMA if you have any questions. So there is a Google Doc as well associated with calendar invite if you have any questions for Jeb and Elena. So Dr. Hurley, he's got tons of experience, but I wanted to let you introduce yourself and go from there.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Josh. And good morning, or whatever the appropriate time zone for everybody, knowing that it's GitLab, which means you guys are all somewhere else other than where probably Josh is and myself, which is at the moment out in Scottsdale, Arizona. So we've foregone ski season this year, but it's not bad to spend time hiking out in the Sonoran Preserve is where we're hanging out. Yeah, I won't go through any sort of extensive in my background. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm sure we will all get connected, but as Josh said, and as you probably got a sense, I've got a real passion and find real purpose in work around helping particularly team leaders and remote team leaders be on a journey towards one that is around trust-centered leadership, and most importantly, because the aha that came from my work and research, that there really is a formula for creating exceptional teams, but it's quite different than what a lot of the sort of 20th century models produced. And this one takes people on a journey towards trust-centered leadership based on this interesting combination of behavioral science, the neurobiology that supports it, and software. So often when you see extraordinary teams at work, you're likely witnessing behaviors that maximize trust and really fire up the neurobiology in our brains. And this is true of sort of what we experience as human beings. It's also incredibly powerful because it sits below things like culture and sort of generations and the things where differences often get in the way. And what it means is that, and what we're going to walk through very quickly today around TrustMetryx, is how we put trust at the center of leadership behavior. And by continuously making small steps to create and sustain it, is that path to inspiring peak performance and well-being on teams. So what you'll see is how we're combining the brainware and the software. And that's what ultimately creates what is really kind of the leadership hack for accelerating both development and performance. So that's what we're going to walk through today. We'll start with, and I'll let my co-founder, Elena Newton, quickly introduce herself. But what we'll do is, I want to show you a couple of quick videos. One is about TrustMetryx, so that we're all starting from the same baseline, and you can explore. There's a lot more information about it. The second is a very short video from me that you can share with your teams that talks a little bit about that process. And then we'll walk through the onboarding itself. It's a 30-day onboarding program, very light on time commitment from you, but it's also designed to ensure that you get the most out of both TrustMetryx as a platform, but also the kind of the brainware behind it, which is designed to help move teams towards this trust-centered approach and maximize people's mental health and well-being as much as it is performance. So with that, Elena, let you quickly introduce yourself, and then we'll jump in.
Good morning or afternoon, as Jeff said, appropriate time zone. My name's Elena. I'm the technical co-founder for TrustMetryx. And also I will tell you just quickly, my background is customer experience and making sure that people are happy. So I'm here to help make sure that you guys have what you need to be successful. And that's about it.
She's very modest. She's also an extraordinary front-end designer and developer, combined with handling customer success and the people side of it. So, which is an unusual combination. And yes, for anyone on sort of the call, that if you deal with that or appreciate that, it's phenomenal actually to have someone with that type of skill set. Cool. So, Josh, did you want to do a quick round the table or with the team, or in the interest of time, we can do that as we go through the sort of AMAs and getting to know everybody? Your call.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I know I shared some videos of TrustMetryx with the team in the Slack channel. So hopefully they've all seen the overview. Okay. But maybe, if they haven't, I'll post more links in this doc and they can just watch it versus using this time. And then maybe we just do a high level overview of the program, the onboarding program, and then do an AMA. I think there's some questions already in the document for you of just kind of the logistics and how it works.
Okay, fantastic. That sounds great. Then we can jump right into the onboarding itself. And well, actually, let me sort of a quick sort of raise of hands. Has everyone seen the sort of the how TrustMetryx sort of works? That's short. I think it's about 1 minute video. Is everybody taking a look at that? Yeah. Yes. Seeing head nods. Okay. I can't see everyone, so I'm assuming that you got mostly head nods on that.
Yeah, maybe we should have done intros, but we've got a really great.
Oh, I'm sorry, lost you at the last couple of seconds there, Josh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say we should have done introductions, but we have a really great group of GitLab managers here with varying levels of experience. I don't know if we want to do a quick round robin intros. I'm sorry, GitLab managers, I didn't introduce you all specifically. So do we want to do that real quick?
Let's do that. Yeah.
I can go first. My name is Jackie Porter. I'm a group manager over product here. I'll pass it over to Hayana.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hayana Verissimo. I'm currently an acting product design manager for the CI/CD team here at GitLab.
Cool. Good to meet you.
I'll go next. I'm Sharon Patching. I lead the technical account managers here at GitLab.
Cool.
I guess I'll step in now. It's Matthew Coffin. I'm director of EMEA channels over in the UK, so a team of 5.
Cool. Cheers, Matthew.
My name is Sarah. I'm a senior support engineer, not a manager yet.
Cool. Okay.
My name is Claudia Beer, and I'm the manager of marketing operations.
My name is Sheetu. I'm senior internal audit manager based in Toronto. Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Really nice to meet you all.
Is that everybody?
That is the crew.
Okay, fantastic. Good to meet everyone. And so as Josh said, there are a lot of resources. I think that, and so we'll jump right into the onboarding. The only prologue I would give to that is the whole, as I described earlier, the whole insight that drove us towards TrustMetryx is all about how, and this is the key to its success, and also the success of accelerating soft skill development and building a trust-based culture on a team, is the way in which people engage around the little things that annoy or get in the way, and then how you resolve those as a team. So it's very much about, particularly in remote teams, it's very much creating an environment in which teams work together to create the small nudges, small actions or behavioral changes that constantly and consistently address any little gaps. And these are typically around values, which at GitLab is a big deal. They're around motivation, sort of are things getting in the way of what's keeping people energized? And then simply around the behaviors around communications, collaboration, and other areas. And my work with teams and a lot of elite teams, one of the keys to the trust being the catalyst was that it enables these candid conversations that result in continuous improvement on the two levels I mentioned. One is around performance, but equally importantly, it's what it does for people's well-being, their mental health and the well-being of your people on the team, because you're consistently addressing the things that can degrade trust and ultimately diminish engagement and energy on a team. So with that, Elena can, I think you're driving on that, putting up the onboarding. I'll just quickly walk through how we've structured this.
Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, so it's not in full screen mode, but.
No, it's a PDF, so there's no full screen mode.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's just roll down it.
Okay.
So just a quick overview. So we designed a 4-week onboarding. And again, it's the amount of time around your engagement with it is light. But the idea is that we combine a combination of, and you'll see the little video notations there around as you get started with TrustMetryx. It's typically with feedback from the team itself, how people are doing on the team, as well as to you, the team leader, in terms of their feedback to you, in terms of the level of support they're getting around the values, motivation, et cetera, as I described earlier. And the way we've structured it is coming into, we'll have a kickoff call. We'll talk about the timing, but our goal is for this, sort of doing this during the month of March, so the week of March 1st. So the kickoff call, and followed by, and that's really to make sure all the teams are set up, you're ready to go, any questions. Then we have the coaching calls, which in the case of the AMAs, since we're going to do this by AMAs, the way we're going to handle this is you'll get feedback from your teams. And I'll before the calls, I will take a look at the feedback that came in and send you a quick sort of coaching memo around, hey, here, given what you've seen here are the things I would think about that you can think about as a leader to engage with around your team. And then we'll have the AMA, the week 1 AMA, just as a general session to answer any questions. How are things going? And we'll continue that through the 2 middle weeks. And then in week 4, we'll have a retrospective. And that's about how did it go? You will have gotten 2 sets of feedback from within the team and 1 set of feedback to you as a team leader. And this will be an opportunity for you to give feedback, of course, to us, but also for us to do a check-in around, hey, did you see real value in TrustMetryx? How did it go? Were there any glitches along the way? And then of course, looking at the path forward, again, how to really maximize the value of this for you and your team. Cool. So that is it as an overview. I don't know, Elena, if you want to quickly just flip down through see if there's any particular highlights. Again, on week before the call, there's the team setup and the double checking. Elena will walk through the specifics of how we'll provide you with the code and the logistics of that. A few action items are before the kickoff call. And then the kickoff itself, as I had described, this is really around you're ready to get to the first feedback and insights. Week 1, again, coaching call. This will be around your team, team feedback. And then in week 2, we'll get you the feedback to you, the leader.
And Jeb, all of this is like really prescriptive in the software, and you're getting email reminders of like how to follow up and whatnot. You know, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, there will be reminders. Can be both in there'll be email as well as we can put it in the. And Elena, you correct me, but we can put it in the Slack that we can create. It can be done via Slack.
Yeah,
on
reminders
the
go via Slack as well. If you sign up to get the Slack notifications, then yeah.
Yeah. So the whole idea behind the onboarding is that it's a combination of sort of the continuation of, I think, that the manager challenge that you've all been through with Josh, but in terms of providing some quick coaching around the behavioral side of soft skill development on a team, as well as in a data-driven way, so that you're seeing the data, you're getting the feedback, have the opportunity to answer any questions, and at the end of 4 weeks, hopefully you're looking at something where you say, wow, I can really see how engaging with my team this way, with a framework that enables me to visualize where we're at in terms of the strength of relationships on the team, which is the experience maps, which you saw if you went through the little video, along with having the relationship strength score and again, a data-driven view of that, that you feel as though you've got something, a tool that you can use to really continue to ensure that your team is on a path to peak performance, or stays there if it already is.
Yeah, what I really liked about it was just having like insight, because we trialed it on our own team, is just like having insight into, what's working, what's not working, and it being like non-attributable, to the specific team member, and just being able to identify themes and areas where we can improve on to, improve that team dynamics. I would also say, like, as you're going through this pilot, do you think something like this could be scalable throughout GitLab as well? Like, would other teams that you work closely with enjoy it? So just having that lens on as you're going through the program is super helpful.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Thanks, Josh. And as Josh had mentioned at the outset, a lot of resources there. There's a full micro course on remote team leadership. And I know, it's interesting talking to GitLab, because you guys are like the poster children for how to do this right. But I think you'll find that, and my experience has been that even in organizations that have really got remote down, sometimes the behavioral dynamics there are ones that are not quite as focused on. So, that's where, with trust as the catalyst, this is where I find, just as humans, we tend to benefit from a little better understanding of how ideas like trust actually play out into our everyday work lives. Cool.
You said there was some questions, Josh. Would you like to go into the questions, or would you, I just have like 2 quick things to cover on like setting an expectation of what to expect from me and us. And then should we do that first and then questions, or questions first and then that at the end?
Sure. Yeah, Elena, if you want to go now, and then we can jump into questions after.
Perfect.
Well, thank you. So, I just wanted to let you guys know what to expect. So I will send you today, each of you, you'll get a code and a how-to on how to sign yourself up and get started, get your team members entered, and get your first surveys going, so that we can then do the next AMA, that basically that kickoff that says, okay, you've started getting feedback, and then really what to expect and what to do with it. So I just wanted to let you know, you'll get an email from me today with that information, and you can reach out to me if you have any questions as you get going.
Cool.
That's
awesome.
Questions, comments, thoughts?
Yeah, I think, Sherry, do you have a question there? I see, so.
I do. So my team has a team of managers also. So I was wondering if there was a way that we could do this collectively. So we're kind of focusing on our personal leadership styles, I guess, for lack of a better way to articulate that.
Ah, cool. Elena, do you want to? The answer is yes.
Yes, it is. The answer is yes. There's a couple ways to do it. So I just have a question for you to clarify. You want to understand kind of the dynamic between the different managing teams. Is that right?
Or managers, yeah.
Managers.
And so we can then roll it out to our team, because we're global, and there's regional nuances, and there's definitely more we could do to offer together a better experience for our team.
Of course. Yes, there is. And we can do, I can like step offline with you and show you how to do it, but basically you can use groups and when you set up your team so that you can see exactly like how people are divided out. And that way you can specifically say like, well, this group, I want to ask this question, this group, I want to ask this. So there's a couple of ways to do it. But I'm happy to help as you get that started, and we get and you can get that feedback the way you need to. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Cool. Yeah, and sure. That's a great way to think about it, because there's definitely, if you have managers reporting to you who then have individual contributors, you actually do want to think about it a little bit differently in your role, because you're going to see data that also provides you with comparatives across leaders, as well as, of course, the feedback they're getting. So yeah, setting that up, that's a fantastic opportunity to I didn't realize we had any managers of team leaders in the group here, but and that's one that sort of, as you dive into that, I don't know if there's anyone else in that situation, but I'm happy to also sort of offline talk a little bit about sort of how you maximize that when you've got a layer of leaders beneath you.
Sure, I would love that. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. Any other questions there? Yeah.
Okay, come on. I know there.
Where I would say, I guess I have a question as well.
Yeah, sure.
What's the ultimate goal of TrustMetryx? Like, how do you measure ROI, like employee engagement, growth and development? What's your big measuring points, I would say?
Yeah, good question. I think there's two ways to look at it. One is using the relationship strength score, which is a measure of it's actually a measure of trust, but people kind of freak out with trust, so I use relationship strength. But using that metric as a comparison with other standard metrics within the company. So for a quick example, a while back, there was a large division at HP that had engagement stuck in the mid 50s for 2 years. And we used TrustMetryx, and over a period of 6 months, they began tracking the strength of relationship between teams. This was a large division, a lot of inter-team issues. And as they fixed those, their engagement score, so they compared the relationship strength, engagement went from the mid 50s to the mid 80s. As an example, their Korn Ferry measure. So that's one way to measure it, is sort of relative to other metrics on your scorecard. The other way is simply within, it's intra-team. It's, are we seeing the strength of relationships and sustaining those within my team? Because you're measuring trust, you're measuring relationship strength, you as a team leader or a manager of managers, in Sharon's case, that ability to actually see not only how well is my team performing on hard metrics, whether it be revenue or customer success metrics or wherever, but how is the team saying this individual leader is doing in terms of inspiring the level of trust and the things that we really want in our leaders. that they're demonstrating that capability. So that's the other, for TrustMetryx, the other really big one is there's a strong correlation between people's mental health and well-being and the relationship strength you're seeing being demonstrated, in mapping on the team over time. And that's why, when I mentioned earlier, I can't emphasize the importance of, often when teams start out, you get a lot of feedback that's kind of surface. And as a leader, or what you want to encourage in your leaders, is that they're part of their journey in becoming a really excellent manager and leader is being able to, to demonstrate the empathy, tap into people so that they're putting on the table the things that actually, unless this is a team that is just off the charts on every dimension, and that's rare, it does happen. But even Navy SEAL teams, and others, they have their bad weeks. They have their bad, we're human, it happens. And so TrustMetryx, by giving you a way to, think of it as part of your stand-ups or it's not somebody else's survey. This is your team's tool for gathering insights that you own it as the team. And so the more people are willing to be vulnerable, to put out their things, and not personal about themselves necessarily, but saying, hey, X is happening here, or I feel as though Y isn't happening, and it's causing me, to not be able to feel as though I'm engaging to the level I should. Your ability to address those as a team, it's so powerful, because it also, as leaders, it removes the burden from your shoulders as being, this is all about me leading, to a shared and servant leadership model where you're actually helping everyone on your team become a future leader, at least based on the soft skills of embodying trust and trust-centered leadership.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeb. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Curious, any other questions? Any
comments,
thoughts, logistics, anything?
Or questions about what you saw, how TrustMetryx sort of works, or anybody who wants to geek out on the neurobiology that sits behind it, I can talk about neurotransmitter stacks that we're stimulating, but I won't do that voluntarily. But if you ask, I'm happy to answer.
I think you'll probably we'll get more feedback and questions after we launch and everyone gets into the tool and checks it out. So I think logistically, what I'll do is I'll just schedule like a 30-minute AMA every week for the next couple of weeks, if that's okay. Like maybe the same time moving forward. I know everyone has busy schedules, so we'll record the meeting. But how does that sound? Does that sound okay? And then we'll just go from there.
Perfect for me.
Cool.
Perfect. And then, in parallel, I'll reach out, connect with, because we'll have your email. I'll reach out and connect with everyone on LinkedIn as well, or you can also use my email, jeb@xmetrix. But if you have questions along the way, really, this is my passion. So if you have questions about, your individual team situations, please don't hesitate. Truly view me. This is a really good deal during the onboarding. This is sort of free coaching that I'm delighted to provide, and any assistance that I can lend to helping you, ensure your team is operating at the levels that you guys want and expect. I'm here to help with that. So don't hesitate, please.
Yeah. Same with me. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about the software, technical, anything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to have some other people, trying it out and giving feedback. So looking forward to hearing what you all have to say, and we'll go from there. So I think be on the lookout for an email and dive in.
Yeah. And we are as big on getting feedback as we are helping others get feedback. So any feedback is also welcome.
Great. Cool. Good.
Cool. Well, that's it. So thank you for the time, and appreciate you all taking the time to be here. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jeb, Elena. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to working with you in the coming 30 days.
Great.
Likewise.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right. Good job, Jeb.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah.